Hello everybody and welcome back to the F1 Tech Analysis series and episode 3 of this series, where I will be analysing the brakes of Formula 1 cars. But before I begin, please may you take the time to subscribe to the channel, like the video and comment down below on whether you think that you would be able to use the brakes of an F1 car effectively. When Formula 1 drivers, or normal people for that matter, first drive in an F1 car, the thing that they find the most incredible is not the downforce of the car or the incredible acceleration. It is in fact the immense braking power of Formula 1 cars. Even current Mercedes driver George Russell originally wasn't very impressed with Formula 1 cars, except the braking power of them. Now, the fact that he wasn't too impressed with the car was quite a shock, because he has just stepped up from Formula 2 to Formula 1. But the fact he was so shocked and impressed about the effectiveness of the Formula 1 brakes really goes to show how powerful and effective these brakes really are. Now, the figures which are coming out of the braking power of Formula 1 versus Formula 2 do back George Russell up here, as they say that the maximum brake capacity of a Formula 1 car can be up to around 5.5 G. However, in a Formula 2 car, the maximum braking power is the maximum braking force is only around 3.5 G, which shows that there's almost a 60% increase in the performance of an F1 car versus Formula 2 cars. Now, to most of you, and to me even, those figures of 3.5 G don't really mean much. However, if you look at this practically, an F1 car braking on a track needs around 15 metres of track to reduce its speed by 100 kilometres per hour. If we move this into a qualifying lap down the Kemmel Straight, if a Formula 1 car is driving at 350 km per hour, then to go through the corner at 150 km per hour, it needs to decelerate by 200 km per hour. This means that to create this deceleration comfortably, the car needs to start braking 30 metres away from the corner's apex, which is absolutely nothing compared to the kilometre it's just come down. That really does show the effectiveness of Formula 1 brakes. And if we compare this to a Formula 2 car, the Formula 2 car would need to brake around 50 metres away, despite the fact it was going slower. And to give you more context on how powerful these brakes are, a BMW M3 would need 30 metres to just decelerate by 100 kilometres per hour, when a Formula 1 car can use that same distance to decelerate by double the amount. All of this added together really does show how effective these Formula 1 cars' brakes are, and why they are one of the most impressive features of these impressive cars. So, I'm now going to give you, in an extremely oversimplified fashion, how the front brakes of a Formula 1 car works. So, when the F1 car steps on the brakes, it compresses cylinders. There's one for the front, which I'll talk about now, and there's also one for the back. This is probably also a good time to mention that, like most normal cars, the brakes on the F1 cars work on all four wheels at the same time. So, however, now that I've paused from talking about how they work, it's probably an acceptable time to politely ask you to subscribe and help the channel to continue growing. So, back to where I was. When the cylinders are compressed, or when the front cylinder is compressed, it creates a pressure in the fluid. And in the front, this fluid pressure is transferred to the calipers in the brakes, which clasp the wheel. Each caliper has 6 clasps, all clasping the wheel. This slows down the car as the wheel has lots of friction on it now. And I'm afraid that's it for simplicity. I wish the rear wheels were that simple, but unfortunately they're not. And this video is getting quite a bit longer than I originally would have liked it to be. So this video is now going to be stopped here and split into 2 parts. So, to find out how the rear brakes of an F1 car work, come back to part 2 of this video. So, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to come back for part 2, where I'll discuss how the brakes of the rear car work. And if you got this far and really want to see part 2, then please subscribe and turn on notifications so you know when it's uploaded. And if this video reaches what is for us an incredibly ambitious goal of 20 likes, then we will release part 2 early. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.